I'm at the boat and it's been a couple weeks since I posted a video. This video is going to end up being a mix of videos that I've taken over the past couple of weeks. I haven't posted anything in 3 weeks because I've been busy. School started, back to work, and we went out sailing several times with other people, and it's kind of hard to record with other people on the boat and you're chatting and whatever, so you forget to record video. But I have some projects that I've been working on. I've recorded some in the past and I'm wrapping a couple of those up today, and so this video might be a little bit different, might flash back a little bit into the past. In fact, I'm thinking of a time when I cleaned the mainsail. I'm at home today trying to clean this sail. The sail is the original one we got on the boat, and it was kind of like in pretty rough shape when we got it because it hadn't been used, so it was kind of pretty dirty. And I've gone over it a couple times with some water and OxyClean and tried to clean some of the spots out. Some of the stuff is never going to come out. So some spots like this here, this is mold that's in between the layers of fabric, so that's not going to come out very easily. So the recommendation that I've seen is take some OxyClean, brush it up, let it sit in the sun, and that's supposed to kill some of that mold, maybe get rid of some of it. It's never going to be 100%, but hopefully we can get some of the spots out of there. You can see like that spot right there, that's mold. Sail's in pretty good shape overall. There's only a couple small holes that I saw. I think one of them was right here. That one's gonna need patched. And then I saw another one somewhere else. But the fabric itself is still very crisp and in good shape. The reason I haven't taken this sail down until now is actually this thing right here. This is a Dutchman System. And what it's supposed to do is when you lower the sail, it's supposed to help the sail flake a lot easier, or zigzag back and forth on the boom. So the way it works is there's a monofilament line that gets clamped into here, and then it goes up through these little grommets all the way up the sail. Every so often there's one all the way to the top, and then it attaches to the backstay. And so the sail never leaves that monofilament line, and when you let the sail down, it just follows along that line and ends up stacked nice and neat on top of the boom. So I never really took it down because in order to take it down, you have to take this off. And I didn't want to mess with it, but as you may have seen in our big trip that we took recently, that monofilament line broke. So I went ahead and decided to take it down before I put the new line up, and then wash it and see if I could get it any cleaner than it was. Once I get ready to put this back up, we'll go ahead and put the new line in there and then make all the adjustments that you need to make to get it going up and down smoothly. Before I put it back up, I think I'm going to also try to replace these telltales. So you can see this one's in pretty bad shape. These are stitched on there. What I did recently to a couple others is I have some telltale material that comes with these little sticky things, and I just stuck those on there to replace the old one. But as you can see, that's not really sticking very well. So what I'm probably going to do is take more of this material and maybe just stitch those back in there. Since I have the Sailrite sewing machine, I should be able to stitch those in there pretty easily. And I think if I'm going to break out the machine, I may as well try to patch those other holes that I found in the sail as well. So do some sewing on the sail with the new Sailrite sewing machine. All right, so we're sitting out here with zero wind, and it's a Monday. It's a holiday, so there are some boats out here, but not a lot. I want to take a look at the staysail. So right now, the staysail is rigged like this. Normally it would have a boom that would be up there on that little cone-shaped thing sticking out below the roller froller, and then it's supposed to come up here to the clew of the staysail right here. And right now, the way this is rigged, the boom isn't rigged up, it's just sitting right over there tied to the side. But the way this is rigged up right now is this goes here, to this block, back to the base, and then back to the cockpit from there. And then here on the Traveler, it's hooked up to the Traveler. These two blocks here are attached to the Traveler, and they just kind of go rotate freely. I think originally what's supposed to happen is this thing here is supposed to go like it is, but this should be attached to the top of the boom, and the boom should come back, I think, to here. But at some point this should be being used for it, but it's not currently being used. So this line here goes back to the cockpit, and just tightening or loosening it just opens or closes this, which kind of seems to me to be redundant, because if you let this out, then you have to tighten this up, and vice versa. So I'm not sure why it's hooked up this way, but I'm going to play around with it and try to take this out of the equation for now. So I'm going to unhook it here, and then take this back to here, and then back up to there, and see what happens when I do it that way. Probably not a lot different. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so that's with it fully tightened down, and it still rubs a little bit here, but definitely over the top of the hatch cover, which I don't like at all. I'm not sure, I don't think it'd be possible to get it to go, to not rub on that. So I think maybe that could be what the purpose this Traveler was serving, is to raise it up so it's not touching the hatch. But I'm still going to try to hook up the boom and see what that looks like, and see if that gives me any advantage. Generally, from what I've read, is that especially on a smaller boat like this, the staysail boom doesn't really do much. So we shall see. I finally got this thing figured out after a few days of trying. Totally disconnected the Traveler here, and I had the lines going the wrong way before. I had them going too low and dropping over that hatch, but it's a lot simpler than I was trying. It just hooks up there to the staysail, comes right back here along there, through that block, and then back to the cockpit. So that seems to be working so far. So I'm going to leave it like that, I think, for now, until I finally get up that mast to get that topping lift for the boom in, which I'll do that sometime. I got to get somebody to hoist me up there though. Right now what I'm working on is the mainsail. So I took the mainsail down because we had the Dutchman System break, and so I took it down to wash it, since it was already easy to take down because of the Dutchman being gone. So I took it home, washed it, and now I'm trying to put it back, reinstall the Dutchman. I got the new lines. So that's what I'm trying to do now, is figure out how that thing goes back in there. So this here is the topping lift, and it comes up to here. There's this little cleat right there, and then I just pull these down. This is what holds the line for the Dutchman, and then there's another one up there. So I gotta take this one off, pull that one up there down, and put the new line in here. All right, I got this thing back together. The new line right there. It's got a stopper knot inside there that holds it. This side moves freely through. This side is clamped in there. I dropped one of these nuts overboard, and I had to run to the hardware store and pick one up, which is requisite for any boat project. So that's done, and I just got to hoist this back up and try to get these in line with the grommets on the sail. And there's another island packet getting ready to go under the bridge at Spa Creek. That's a small one. It looks like probably a IP27. And the Dutchman lines are back up, all the way up there to those spots right there. Two little dark spots you see. That clamps onto that topping lift and slides up and down. And the shiny monofilament that you see right along here, that's the Dutchman line. I got the sail cover back on. Everything went well except one nut lost in the water and a trip to the hardware store. So everything is back up. The battens are back in the main, and the Dutchman system is up and running. And I only had to go to the hardware store once. Anytime you drop something on a boat, it's going to bounce 6 times and then into the water. So this nut did exactly that. Bounced 6 times, went out of the boat, hit the dock, and I thought I was safe, but then it went off the dock into the water. And of course it's stainless steel, so I can't pick it up with a magnet, so I had to go to the hardware store. Tomorrow we're planning on going out for a sail. I didn't go today. I was going to go today, but there was too much work to do with the main. It took a lot longer than I thought to do that, just because a lot of screws and bolts had to come out of that thing, because the battens are actually bolted into the batten slides, and in pockets and Velcro and tying and all this sort of stuff. So it took me a good couple hours to get all that stuff finished, but I finally got it finished and got the Dutchman on. And I think it still needs a little bit of fine tuning to make sure that I have it in the right spot. I tried to put it back exactly where it was, because you could see like where the dirt marks are on the topping lift, where it went through a block. So I think I had it in the right spot, but I had to make a couple little adjustments. Probably still a few more adjustments once we get out and I can get the sail up and make sure none of the Dutchman lines are rubbing against the sail. But we're planning on going out tomorrow. I don't think the winds are going to be all that great, but we'll go out and see what happens. We're back from that sail. Pretty good winds out there today. It's a Labor Day weekend, so a lot of boats out there, but good wind and some good sailing. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up now. I think I've got enough in there to do a whole video, and I'll think of something to do for the next video. That's all for now. See you all later.